Hey everybody, listen, happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Listen, welcome in the building. Trending topics is late today, but you know sometimes I run a little late on Mondays because Roy and we do our show at 6 p.m. Then you know I gotta get a little stuff done in between. And then also I know I'm late to the party in regards to this show, Reasonable Doubt on Hulu, but now I am hooked on that show, Reasonable Doubt on Hulu, and I'm on the second season. So I'm catching up because I know they got a season 3. I'm catching up. I'm on season 2. I'm enjoying it. If you watching Reasonable Doubt on Hulu, let a sister know. But in the meantime, we know we got to still pull the train out the building for trending topics. And tonight's title is called Horrible Choices. Listen, one wrong choice can change your life in a very bad way. Horrible choices. Finally, we got some partial justice for baby Emmanuel. You know, his father ended up pleading guilty. And his sentencing was today, and he got sentenced to pretty much life behind bars. Thank God, because he really technically should have did more time for his first child that he abused, who's living now CP, can't feed herself, can't see, can't eat, can't nothing because of that horrific man. And now he's doing life. And they still haven't found baby Emmanuel, and unfortunately, I don't know if they ever will. It's very sad, but we're going to talk about Jake Haro, and the mother should have just played guilty too, because you know what? She's guilty as sin also because she watched the abuse happen. So she need to spend the rest of her life in jail too because she went along with this stupid he got kidnapped plan. Then we're going to talk about this DOMINO'S fight. I don't know what's going on with the people today. They're just losing their mind and going crazy. And not only was it a fight that these individuals, they picked up a chair and they hit a police officer. So when they get caught, it's not if they get caught. When they get caught, they are done. They're done. Why would you waste your whole life? Who would want to live behind bars? It's crazy to me. And then if you do happen to get out for the rest of your life, you're going to be known as a criminal. You really want to live a life like that? It's sad. We're going to talk about it, though. It's DOMINO'S fight. And then I need the people, the men really. Men should talk to men. And these men need to send a memo. If you decide that you're going to have sex with somebody, even if you do use a condom, it's a strong possibility that that person might get pregnant. Unless they ancient like the diva. So you want to mess around and not use any protection. Then when the person get pregnant, you want to tell them don't have their baby? Well, you don't got a choice in the matter. If they want to have it, they're going to have it. So you decide to take this woman's life versus her giving life. You know how many men, and I'm not saying men should do it, you know how many men, when the girl had the baby and they didn't want them to have it, they just ignored the child in the mother? I prefer that option than you taking this woman and the baby's life. Now this young teenager, she's gone. Because that monster was mad that she got pregnant. And now she's gone and she had a child already. So now the child is motherless. Because she got with a monster. I get it. Nobody wants to be alone. I understand that. Trust me, I do. But you got to ask yourself, would you rather be alone? Or would you rather be with somebody and that somebody's a whole monster? Well, I'll take option A. I'll just be alone. Unless you got the preferred option, it's a good person, we like each other, we're going to be good to each other, and that's that. But if you're going to give me a monster, you're going to give me somebody that's a cheater, you're going to give me somebody that don't really like me, they just with me to pass time, I'll take a pass. It's sad. But we got stuff to talk about tonight. It's Monday night. It's trending topics. I'm glad to see you here. Y'all know the routine. Hit the like button because that is your ticket on the train. So I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Jake Haro. Finally, baby Emmanuel is seeing some justice. May he rest in peace. But his dad or the person that donated some sperm so that he could be born is now going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. And he had the nerve to have tears coming down his eyes. Excuse me, son? The Domino's fight in this Donovan Faison gets life. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. Hey, chat. Choo, choo, choo.
You know what increase matters? That is exactly what Ray Caruth did. But can I tell you something? You know, in that case, oh, thank you. You like my top? In that case, though, the baby lived, but that child is disabled, and her mother is taking care of the child. The last I know of, I'm gonna see maybe if I could get in touch with that family, and see if the grandmother wants to talk to us. And you know, but in this case, the baby and the mother's gone. He's horrific. He's horrible. All right, people. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I guess I'll talk about this Jake Haro first, because we did this story on it. Oh, yeah, he's out of jail. He's out of jail, yeah. So that means he didn't even do that much time for murder. You know what, IM50 Gold, tell me how much time did he do? Ain't that some mess? Yeah, I do remember when he got out, though. Let's just take a quick listen to this.
And this just in, the Faison man who pleaded guilty to killing his 7-month-old son has just been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Baby Emmanuel Haro was reported missing in August. His body has not been found. Last month, his father, Jake Haro, pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, set to also be in court today for a preliminary hearing. She is accused of helping her husband cover up their baby's murder and pleaded not guilty to murder last month.
Never did we ever knew anything. If I had known when I called social service when Rebecca moved in, I called social service to let them know that I didn't like him. Because my granddaughter Irene was afraid. She didn't want to be there. She called me and she says, Grandma, I don't want to be there. Okay, so I called social service. I asked social service to give me a report of what had happened, what they found out. Oh no, she's fine. The house is beautiful. They have food in the fridge. That's it. Had social service come and told me what he had done to promise his other children. Nothing of this would be here. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. My grandchildren, Emmanuel wouldn't be gone. Mackenzie wouldn't have been born. Because he had already done a lot of horrible things to his other children. He branded those children for life. And in the same way, branded all my children too. Because I can't go nowhere without they asking me. Every time I go to the store or somebody recognizes me, they attack me, you know? On social media, everywhere. And that is not my doing. Or my children. This has been horrible for us. I was glad the day that got arrested because I fear for my daughter's life. I fear for everybody. And you know, he had a second chance. My daughter didn't have a chance with him. Or his children. His children didn't have a second chance. And I think the judge that let him go should be here sitting with him. And so is social service.
Come on now.
Because they could have told me, oh no, protocol doesn't allow us to tell you anything. Well, how are we supposed to protect our children if we don't know? The court knows what's going on. I didn't know. I called social service. I didn't know what he had done to his other children. And here he sits, you know, like nothing. Somebody will give him another chance. And I don't want that. Because he didn't give his children a chance. He didn't give my daughter a chance to be happy to take care of her children, okay? My 20-year-old granddaughter, my 18-year-old granddaughter are a mess because of him. Mackenzie, it's totally changed, a little baby, a 3-year-old girl that has nothing, okay? I'm very, very stressed out, very angry at the justice system for letting this guy, giving him a chance. Who gave my grandchildren a chance, a second chance? Did CPS check? Why didn't they tell me? Oh look, this is what that guy does. He takes it out on the children, on the babies. But he can't do it to a grown person. He's not man enough to do it to a man, okay? He destroys so many lives. His mom, his brother, everybody, okay? Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wanted to come and look at it. But I have to speak for my grandson and my grandchildren, and for my children too, because they're going through every hell in this world, okay?
I'm going to pause it a little bit. I'll interject because this is long, but I wanted to show that because this is the mother's mom. And she is so incredibly right. That judge that let him out should be sitting there. CPS should be sitting there. She says she called CPS. What more could she do? And the people that are being mean to her in the street, they shouldn't be in her face. This is not her fault. Let me just, I'm going to stop there for a minute. I'll interject and show a little bit more, but let me go. It is a horrible situation. So Jake Haro gets 25 years to life for killing baby boy. And like I said, he had the nerve to be crying. Let me see if I could show that piece. Jake Haro, the man who pleaded guilty to killing his 7-month-old son, Emmanuel Haro, was sentenced to 25 years to life in state prison on Monday.
This time, this court, having taken the defendant's plea, having read and considered the probation report, and having seen, heard, and considered the evidence and arguments of counsel at the sentencing hearing, as well as taking judicial notice of its own records, hereby pronounces the sentence as described in this order. The court imposes an aggregate sentence of 180 days and 6 years, 8 months, plus 25 years to life and fines as specified. He is ineligible for probation pursuant to Penal Code Section 1203. Accordingly, probation is denied. For count 1, in case FERI 2504808-1, murder in the second degree, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 15 years to life. Accordingly, the court orders the designation of the 25 to life stricken from the amended complaint. For count 3, in case FERI 2504808-1, assault on a child under age causing death, the court imposes the only term provided by law of 25 years to life. The court finds that counts 1 and 3 in case ending in 808-1 are based on the same act.
I don't want to play that. I wanted to pause. Hold on.
I've been playing Misplay for probably about 5 or 6 years. Misplay is a
Okay. That part. Last month, Jake pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and unlawful killing with malice of aforethought, as well as child endangerment, and filing a false police report. Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca Haro, separately pleaded not guilty to the same charge. Monday, the judge formally sentenced Haro to 180 days plus 6 years and 8 months plus 25 years to life in state prison to be served consecutively, a total of 31 years. Haro is ineligible for parole, the judge said. Jake's sentencing comes after the Riverside County District Attorney asked for a sentence of 25 to life. They specified that Jake admitted to assaulting his son to the point of death. Remember, Rebecca and Jake originally claimed their son was kidnapped from a parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods store in Ucapita in San Bernardino County. Rebecca told police she was changing the child's diaper next to her car in the parking lot when she was approached from behind and assaulted, knocking her out. She said when she came to, the baby was gone. Investigators found inconsistencies in Rebecca's story. Hold on one second. In Rebecca's story, prompting a canine search of Haro family home and the seizure of Jake's car for evidence. Then in August, authorities arrested Jake and Rebecca for murder, and Riverside County District Attorney Mike Kirstein alleged Emmanuel was a victim of extended abuse and likely succumbed to his injuries. The child's remains have yet to be found, that's the even sadder part with this situation. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes of this video, and then I'm coming to you, Wayne. 1 second. I feel for her because if you notice this grandmother, she's shaking as she's talking. This is just, it's horrific all the way around. But like she said, she shouldn't even be there. It should have never happened.
Thank you, Mom.
I didn't mourn my grandson that he passed away. We buried him on the 5th of August, and they were saying that, oh, we probably bury Emmanuel in my grandson's, when we bury my grandson, okay? I lost my grandson on the 5th. We buried my grandson on the 5th of August. Then he calls me on the 14th of August and says that Emmanuel is kidnapped. And then my sister passes on the 17th of August. We didn't have a chance to mourn any of my sister, my grandson, my other grandson, none. Because everybody was angry at everybody because how could this happen? Why? I wish he could look at me and tell me why. He was never in my house. He knew I didn't like him. He knew I called social service, and that's why he kept my daughter away. He changed her so she couldn't have no contact with me or his brothers, okay? Had I had not had a stroke, I would have never met McKinsey or, probably heard on the news about Emmanuel, okay? So don't blame my children. The media has blamed my children, everybody. The TikTokers, everybody. Grandma Mary knows.
I feel for her. I really do. Wayne, your thoughts?
I don't know if they have the unaliving penalty, but I think maybe they did or not, but should have negotiated that something like if you can lead us to where it happened or what you did, where's the body or something, and maybe present him with options. If you don't tell us, we're going to give you the change, the penalty, because to get 25 years and there's no body, and they're not, he knows. I don't know why they couldn't push him to pursue, so the family could have some closure. Because this is ridiculous. He shouldn't. there should never be a possibility for him to walk the streets again. So I don't know if 25 years, even without parole, that after you serve the 25 years, you can get to walk out. I mean, he's still young enough that if he completed 25 years.
It's 31 in total because he got 6 years and some other time for some other things. So in total, it's 31 years.
Even 31 years old, if he's 30, so he'd be 60.
Yeah.
Still a lot of life left. That's it.
Yeah, I really feel for the family that is being blamed for this, because as she stated, how is this their fault? It's not their fault. Julius, your thoughts?
It's not the family's fault who is being. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I want to be very clear. It is not the family's fault for what happened. It is that disgusting mother and this disgusting coward, demon, disgrace, S-stain. It is their faults. I want to be very clear. I felt that grandmother's pain when she spoke. When she said, I called social services multiple times, they didn't do nothing. I felt her pain. I felt her disdain when she spoke. My grandson should still be here, but because the system failed him, he's not. And like we covered here on the show, we talked about his prior violence, but he was let off with a slap on the wrist. He was able to procreate again. And now he has unalived his own because he was just given too many slaps on the wrist. And this next part, cover your ears if you're sensitive. He needs to be put under the jail. Not 25 and then getting out when he's in his 60s. He needs to be put under the jail. Because that baby couldn't defend himself. That baby couldn't scream for help. That baby was defenseless against the very people that was supposed to love, value, and protect him. So no, put him under the jail. That's it.
Thank you, Julius. I can't find his age, but either way, like y'all saying, it doesn't matter. 31 years, and even if he gets out in his 60s or whatever, that still doesn't seem like enough time. This is just incredibly sad. Savannah, I'm coming to you. Give me a minute. I'm just going to play a little bit more of the grandmother speaking.
I don't know nothing, okay? And I stand here with you, asking you to give him the maximum. Because I don't want him to give him another chance. He didn't give nobody a chance. He had many chances. He had a chance, the judge gave him a second chance. The probation gave him another chance. The CPS, oh well, no, he's fine. He's got food in the fridge and the house is clean. That doesn't cut it, okay? And that's not fair to the children to let somebody out like that. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just very, very upset and very stressed out.
And ma'am, no need to apologize. This proceeding here is for you to make your impact statement, to talk about how the crime has affected you and your family. I do want to lead with, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for all the hurt that you and your family have gone through.
A lot of hurt.
And I want to thank you for being here today.
I'm here because I'm the only one that wanted to be here, because my children don't trust themselves to come in and talk because they're so upset, so angry at this system, what they did. How could they give him a second chance when you see the pictures of the little girl? How? That's beyond me. You know, you get two drunk driving tickets and you go to jail or you pay a goddamn fine. And he, a slap on the hand, go and do community work. Okay? How does that happen, Your Honor?
How does that happen? Savannah, your thoughts?
You know, if he had any ounce of human kindness, or he would tell where his son's body is, so that way that the baby can at least get a proper burial. And because I believe he's out there in a landfill or somewhere, and I think unfortunately the elements and nature has ripped this child's poor body apart. And this man, and you know, I think we have covered this story over here extensively, and I think none of us bought the story that the mother tried to sell the media. I think the mother deserves equal punishment, although I think the sentence is way too light. And I think there has to be accountability on all sides. There is CPS, or Department of Children's Services, that system is broken. I haven't seen stories of social workers or providers that actually are out there protecting and advocating for our children. I see everything that I've seen on these law and crimes or court shows, and I'm one that I watch them. That is my vice. I don't really like reality TV. I prefer the law and crime shows. And there's a lot of stories going on right now where children are being unalived by their parents or caregivers. This is unfortunate, but I think the family also needs to take some accountability, because they knew what he did to that little girl, to his daughter. And I do believe that this child, baby Emmanuel, was also being abused at the hand of his father. Just by looking at his face, you can tell that there was something going on there with this baby. And he didn't have happy eyes, and his eyes looked empty and sad. It's heartbreaking. I don't think we will ever know where he's at. And I hope this monster gets some jail justice, as I think he deserves. But the mother absolutely should be getting the same, if not a harsher sentence, because she lied and she failed to protect her children. And they were willing to put it on somebody else to hide their own wrongdoings. And it's unfortunate. I never thought that the baby would be found alive, but just to know that the monster still hasn't revealed what they really did with the baby, it just makes the story even more sadder.
Yeah, I feel like the cops know, but this case is so polarizing that they don't want to put it out there. I think that they put the baby in the trash. I really, really do. I don't know why I have that feeling. It's just a feeling of mine. And I think that that's probably part of why they're not going to find the baby. And, you know, it's just sad. And like this grandmother said, she did the best she could. She called CPS. He isolated the mother from the family, Rebecca, you know, so she stopped talking to them. You know, it's very unfortunate. Rebecca might have been part of being abused also, right? So this is a hard, very sad case. And many people noted when this happened, they said that she said she hit the floor. But they're saying that with baby Emmanuel, it was prolonged abuse, right? And I believe that when she said, because everybody noticed too that her black eye looked old. I believe when she said she hit the floors because he knocked her out. And perhaps that day was the last day she herself saw baby Emmanuel alive. I don't know. These are things that are just coming in my head. But I will go back to the mom that's speaking now in court saying, give him the max. If that judge would have never gave this man a slap on her hand, she said, I wouldn't even be here right now. And when she said about CPS going there, talking about the house is clean and there's food in the refrigerator, it brings me back to Walmart when that young lady had in the cold her child in the shopping cart in the diaper. And she was like, call CPS because as long as I got food and hot water, all is going to be well. So that tells you that they need to revamp these CPS rules and regulations. I am 50 Gold. I appreciate you. He's 32. So as you stated, Wayne, 63 is still young. To be getting out at 63 is still a slap on the darn hand. But that's why he pled guilty, because there's a maximum to the plea deal that he went for. So he's still being manipulative, right? He pled guilty, but knowing that there was going to be but so much time they can sentence this man to. I'm coming to you, Callie. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to play another, little bit of her speaking.
I want to know how did that.
Anything else, ma'am?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, Mr. Robinson, any other impact statements on behalf of the people?
No, thank you.
Ms. Garthwaite, Ms. Lowe, no impact statements on behalf of the defense?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And submitting on your motion?
Yes.
Submitting on your motion?
Yes.
So the court is now going to pronounce judgment at this time. Ms. Lowe, Ms. Garthwaite, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Smith, are you okay if I sentence on all three together, all three cases?
Yes.
Yes.
And we heard, so there was 3 cases to be sentenced on, and that's how it totaled the 31 years. But the 25 years, it was for baby Emmanuel. This whole thing is just super, super sad. And like she said, look at me, you coward. Look at me. Callie?
Yeah, this guy really only got 25 years. And if he doesn't get in trouble in there, he's gonna probably be out. They might not even make him serve that whole 30 years. And like most people said,
I
don't know, because there's another charge. And I don't really know like what the stipulations are of that other charge. He might just be able to serve the 25 years and get out. I don't know. But this man don't need to be let out of jail. This man should have never been let go in the beginning. And the only thing, I'm wondering if this case in the beginning, if that child was already disabled. And that's even worse if you abuse the disabled child. But I'm wondering if maybe that's why he got that slap on the wrist, because he didn't cause the injuries. Because it's just not making any sense to me at all. This is crazy. And this man kept having children. If you feel like you going into, first of all, if you feel like you're going into fits of rage, you don't need to be in a relationship. You don't need to have no kids. You just need to just go and work on yourself. I'm sorry. I do blame the mom. I don't care what he was doing to her. She's an adult. You as an adult, you have a responsibility to not have your child around a dangerous person. Unless he just bust out of nowhere and did this and she had no warning, that would be the only way that I would say, oh, yes, how could she have known? But that's not true. She knew. She's even stopped talking to her mom because she wanted to be with this man. I've never been one for this, oh, I couldn't leave stuff. No, it's very easy to claim that after the fact, when in reality, you weren't really trying to leave. You know what I mean? Like you weren't, your mom was calling CPS. You wasn't cooperating with some people. You weren't telling those people, get me out of here. This man is dangerous. I know you weren't. So she need to be sentenced to life as well. to me, she is just as guilty. You don't get to have your child be harmed by some person that you know is dangerous because you want to be in a relationship, or because whatever game you playing in your head, you have convinced yourself that, oh, if I try to leave, he'll do this. Well, then try and see what happens. The answer is not to stay there. That's definitely not the answer. So I'm disgusted with both of these people. I have a feeling that this child remains will not be found. Because I think if they have been found, the grandmother would know. And I even feel bad for the grandmother that, this elderly woman now has to deal with this catastrophe that her daughter has made of her life. And if I'm not mistaken, she has other kids that now the grandmother probably has to take care of at 80 years old, or however old this lady is. So this is just disgusting. They both should be locked up and have the key thrown away. And I'm surprised that there's not legally a way to give him more time. But, some of these laws, we had some real crazy laws. And I feel like because we complained about that, to punish us, they almost are like, we just going to stop putting people in jail and see how you like that. I almost feel like that's what's happening in the state of California, because now we have gone completely in the total opposite direction. We went from the 3 strikes law to this crazy mess that we have now, where it's almost like, yeah, we kind of really don't feel like putting these people in jail. Now, I guess if they unalive somebody, we could put them in there for a few years, but whatever. It's just really crazy. So yeah, I wish they could have at least found the child's remains. Again, like everybody else, we all knew that this child was gone when we first heard this crazy story. I'm not ruling out the fact that these people are on substances. They're very heavy out in that area. So I'm sure that might have had a lot to do with a lot of this stuff, and might even have.
You went there for a minute there. I think he's just a sick individual. And I think these judges, they can go past the recommended sentencing, because we have seen them do it in other cases. They could do whatever they want at the end of the day. He should have got life, period. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I think we need to be harder on these parents that are out here abusing our children. It's egregious to know that you laid down and did what you did to have this child. But then when this child gets here, you don't put it up for adoption. You don't take it to somebody and say, I don't want it. Instead, you abuse it. That's a different kind of low. To know that this child was defenseless, helpless, looking for love in all the wrong places because this was all they had. And nobody stepped in. All the people that were there to protect this child let it slide. To know that this man has done it before and all he got was probation. It's a slap in the face of everybody. This is a miscarriage of justice. Now, I did hear in the court hearing, because I watched it, that if he ever is let out, he will be deported. I pray that man don't get a chance to get out. These people should get the same punishment that they do on these kids, because these kids didn't have a fighting chance, so they shouldn't have one either.
Oh, good gosh. Savannah, did you go?
Yes, ma'am, I went.
Katrina?
Hey y'all. My thing is, no, he don't need to be let out. If I was the grandmother, I don't know if she have enough time, but I would be suing the judge and the child protective service. And if that child was born like that, they weren't gonna let that child go nowhere, because that was a meal ticket. They probably was getting a check on that child. That was they was getting money off of him, especially if he had a disability. So of course they weren't gonna let him be gone anywhere. But for him to have did this to another child and for her to get pregnant and have another child by him is totally crazy. You see what he did to his first daughter. Why in the world would you want to even take a chance? If he did something like that to a child, imagine what he would do to you. And then, like we said, when she said that she got knocked to the floor when she meant the ground, that's why I told y'all he probably hit her in the face so they could make that to bring up that story that somebody kidnapped the baby. Be for real. We weren't buying that. The story was weak. You was telling too many lies. You couldn't even stick to your right lie. But no, he don't need to be out. She need to be in there with him because when she had the chance to tell exactly what happened, she still lied. She scared. The baby was kidnapped and all that. The police was asking her what happened, what happened. Maybe they would have got her some help. She didn't want no help. She wanted to be with that man. And now look what done happened. Both of them going out. Now they ain't got her sentence yet, but her sentence needs to be just as harsh as his because you sat around and you allowed this to happen to your child. And like I said, they weren't gonna let that child go anywhere because that child was a paycheck. That's all I got.
The child, let's not start rumors. This child was born normal. This child wasn't born with a disability.
Oh, the baby was born normal?
Yeah, the baby. Yeah, the baby. No, that child was not born with a disability. 48. Your thoughts?
Oh wow.
The child went through. Good evening. Give me 1 second. The child went through prolonged abuse, just like the daughter that now has CP, blind, can't eat, can't walk, can't talk. That girl was born normal. What he did to her, the way he abused her, that is why she ended up the way that she was. 48. Your thoughts?
I don't have much to say, Diva, only because it's just disgusting, and I'm getting sick and tired of hearing people that abuse their kids and unalive them get slaps on the wrist. I really don't have nothing to say because it's just normal now.
Yeah, it's normal, it's sick, and I think they really need to revamp the CPS rules. And the thing is, again, like grandma said, why was he out in the first place? She said that judge that let him out and gave him a slap on the wrist, the probation officer and CPS needs to be sitting there with him right now. And in this particular situation, I'm in agreement with her. Let's go ahead and roll into the next story. It's this Donovan Faison. He gets life. Okay. Remember, it's called Horrible Choices. So let me share a screen. There we go. I want to say this is it. I hope it is. Yeah, this is when it happened, and then I'll bring you the present date. So I just want to show y'all this.
Our coverage following Hurricane Idalia continues in just minutes, but we want to get to some other news today. Sanford police announcing a major arrest in a murder investigation last night.
Police arrested a suspect in connection to the death of an 18-year-old pregnant woman. She was found dead in her car in November. News 6's Emily McLeod explains why investigators think she was killed.
Sanford police say after an exhaustive investigation, they have arrested Donovan Faison in connection to the murder of 18-year-old Kaylin Fiengo. Now, police say Fiengo was pregnant at the time she was shot, and now Faison is facing 2 counts of felony homicide. Donovan Faison appearing before a judge Wednesday morning after police arrested him for the death of Kaylin Fiengo and her unborn child.
I find probable cause on count 1, probable cause on count 2. On each count, I will set your bond at none or no bond.
According to the Sanford Police Department, back in November, an officer was patrolling the area around Coastline Park and saw a car that appeared to be running backed into a parking spot. The officer found Fiengo in the driver's seat with a gunshot wound. Emma Encarnacion lives nearby and remembers the night the shooting took place.
It was real sad. And, from then on, everybody was kind of on edge around here.
Police say they arrested Faison on Tuesday. Over the course of the investigation, police determined Fiengo went to Coastline Park the night of her death to meet up with Faison. Investigators say in the weeks leading up to Fiengo's death, Faison and Fiengo had several arguments over Fiengo's pregnancy. They say it's believed Faison wanted Fiengo to terminate the pregnancy, but she refused. Sanford police say Fiengo's refusal is a possible motive for the homicide. Encarnacion says she's relieved the police made this arrest.
I was happy that then they had made an arrest and everything, because this was something that, no parent should have to go through, and then you don't know what done happened to your child and your grandchild, you know?
We spoke to Fiengo's family back in November. They tell us she was a fun-loving person and a mother to a 1-year-old boy. Now, as far as Faison goes, his next court appearance is in October. And as for his arrest affidavit, that was sealed Wednesday morning at his first appearance. For now, reporting in Sanford, I'm Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Okay, 1 second. Let me bring you the present date. That's when it happened to her.
The deep breaths taken in the courtroom by Caitlin Fiengo's friends and family as the verdict was read out loud after a trial that started over 2 weeks ago with jury selection. Donovan Faison was found guilty on all counts.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder.
An overwhelming moment of relief for Caitlin Fiengo's loved ones as the jury's verdict was announced.
We've been waiting a long time for this.
An emotional end, almost 3 years since Fiengo was found shot and killed in Sanford's Coastline Park. Investigators say Donovan Faison murdered her because she refused to terminate her pregnancy.
Were you supposed to meet up with her? No, I wasn't supposed to meet up with her. I was supposed to do nothing with her. We didn't have no conversation of meeting up, nothing.
During closing arguments Monday, prosecutors played body camera video of Faison's first interview with detectives.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. You can read it line after line.
And presented months of messages, including this exchange where they say Fiengo told Faison she was pregnant and his response was abortion. Faison's attorneys poked holes in the police investigation and argued he may have made mistakes, but he is not a murderer.
But at best, you have evidence of a man that's cheating, of a man that possibly didn't want to have another child. There's no evidence of him being in the car. There's no evidence of him coming around the front. There's no evidence of her reaching for a purse. There's no evidence of him pulling the trigger.
Prosecutors say the motive was undeniable, and after Faison's world fell apart when his girlfriend found out he had lied, cheated, and got another girl pregnant, he planned and executed Fiengo's murder.
The defendant thought about it. He devised a plan to kill an innocent victim. He carried out the plan in cold blood.
Fiengo's family says she will be missed and she will be remembered for choosing her child.
What she did was brave regardless, right? She chose her child at the end of the day.
Now that Faison has been found guilty, he could be sentenced to death. The judge ordered both the state attorneys and the defense attorneys to be back at this courthouse on Wednesday to start the death penalty phase. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just share screen again. So, Florida boyfriend who killed pregnant teen Caitlin Fiengo for refusing abortion faces the death penalty. A psychotic two-timing Florida man killed his pregnant teenage girlfriend and her unborn child after she refused to get an abortion and is facing the death penalty. Donovan Faison, 23, was convicted last week of murdering Caitlin Fiengo, 18, who was found shot dead in her car beside an ultrasound image in November 2022 after she sent him the results of 2 positive pregnancy tests, to which he texted back, abortion. He erupted and felt angry and pressured because he was living with another woman who suspected him of cheating at the time, according to the release from the Sanford Police Department. On my brother's grave, I'm going to crop her out, he texted a friend about the teen, who was already the mom of a toddler, Ace. Shortly after sending the text, Faison lured Fiengo to a meeting at Coastline Park in Sanford, just north of Orlando. The night she was found dead in the driver's seat of her running car after she had told a friend she was going to meet him there. A bullet casing in the ultrasound image was found near Fiengo's body, cops said. This was an execution-style killing, prosecutor Stuart Stone said, telling jurors they should consider the cold, calculated, premeditated nature of the killing. Donovan Faison, 23, was convicted by a jury of first-degree murder, killing an unborn child, and burglary, and could face the death penalty. Jurors voted 11-1 to recommend the death penalty, the news reported. The pregnant teen was at the end of her first trimester at the time of her murder. Police did not say if Faison was the father of her unborn child. Prosecutors Dominic Leo told jurors during closing arguments that the phone messages gave clear, convincing evidence. He said he was going to do it, then he did it. Leo said of the killer, who was arrested around 10 months after the murder, the police got the right guy. He is scheduled to be sentenced on December the 5th, and I will keep us posted on this story. So sad, so horrific. Now her 1-year-old has no mother. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, first thing I was thinking that it's a shame that these people have to have a happy moment because they found the murderer.
Right.
I mean, these happy moments should have been for the child's birthday, for maybe the child's graduation. You know, I can imagine how hard it was for that not the prosecutor, but the defense attorney to get up there and say that there was no shine that he was there, he did it, and all. You know, I know she know this man was guilty, but she had to stand up there and lie because she is the defense attorney that had to defend him. I bet they had to cut to her core, knowing what this man did. You know, I'm not a what you call, you know, unalive and penalty person, but I think I could have voted along with the 11. I'm done.
Julius?
He chose to unalive. All because he didn't want to be a daddy. I just want to make sure I got the grips of that right. I got the grips of that right. Condoms exist for a reason, even if they're not 100%. If you knew you didn't want to be a parent, what did the ads say for, you know, the diseases that go along in that way? Wrap it up. Wrap it up. But no, you wanted to be that dude. You wanted to be like, oh yeah, you know, I got my girl, yada yada yada. There's consequences that come with that, being irresponsible. I'm glad he's spending the rest of his life, hopefully, behind bars. I'm glad. And I hope that beautiful baby is raised in her mother's family, learning the memory of her mother, and knowing that her mother did want her.
First of all, Julius, the baby is gone too. And then second,
wait, he did both?
No, the 1-year-old is a boy.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I hope.
But I understand what you're saying. Thank you, Julius. Yeah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Another psychopath that I don't feel sorry for. Again, I am tired of these people that decide that they're gonna be reckless with their body, and then their consequence is to take life. I really think we should start taking their life, and maybe they'll think about taking somebody else's life. And I'm not a big fan of, you know, that. I just feel like you should have a free choice. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just feel like our society is getting worse. So many of these men decide that they don't want to take responsibility, and their first thing is to unalive somebody. Well, if we start unaliving them, maybe they'll think twice about trying to unalive somebody. This is a sad case. I don't want him to have no peace now day of his life. I don't want him to be able to sleep right for the rest of his life. And I pray when he get in there, these people that have kids that they can't see, show him the street justice that he deserves.
Appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, Savannah, your thoughts?
Diva,
Savannah?
I'm struggling with this story. Um, my heart breaks for the family, and now there's a baby without their mother. And I'm trying hard not to victim blame here, but this young lady this man was already in a relationship, and he it was obvious. I don't know. It just seems like he was a monster, and for him to have that type of reaction at her telling him that she was pregnant, and his first reply was to get rid of it, that should have been the end of the relationship. So I'm struggling with this story. And then I'm also how the media plays with their words. We just finished a story where this man has a history of beating and tormenting and torturing children, babies, his own children, and he gets slaps on the wrist and but this one they called him I can't recall how you started the story about this guy here, but he demonic monster, manipulative, whatever, which all that he is, but how the media plays with words it just irks me, because in our previous story that didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
And I'm struggling with this story because she should have known, and now there's a baby that doesn't have their mother.
Yeah. I'm struggling too, but she was 18, and I could say in a lot of sense, like her family members said, like, God bless this girl at 18. You already had a 1-year-old, and you was willing, to have this other baby that you was pregnant with. I think a lot of times, unfortunately, I wonder what her family life was like. Again, not victim shaming, but it's like sometimes you these people are searching for love, and searching for love in all the wrong places, and maybe searching for love having these babies, thinking, okay, I have my own kids and I'll love them. It's sad that she didn't have the mindset to think. I think a lot of times, even when you see people for who they are, you're always hoping there's going to be a change. And I'm sure that what this guy probably did to lure her there is he probably talked sweet nothings in her ear. Like, meet me, we're going to talk about this. It's okay. Because she had the ultrasound with her. I'm sure he lured her there, and then he took her life. Very sad. My heart breaks for her. It really does. 18 and gone, because this man was mad that his other girl found out that he was living with. I don't know. It's just sad. Katrina?
Yeah, David, this is sad on so many levels. He wanted his cake and ice cream and eat it too, and he just didn't want to deal with the banana split on the side, because you knew you was in a relationship with the woman already while you was out there cheating. And if I was the woman that he got the baby by, he couldn't touch me at all, because that means that you weren't out there just cheating. You was out there cheating unprotected, because if you was using protection, this girl wouldn't got pregnant. So he like Felicia would say, he's for the streets. And it's just sad. It's sad. You knew you was in a relationship, but yet still you went out and had relations with somebody else. So you don't care about the woman that you was with either, because if you did, you would have used protection, because you can go out there and get anything. And it's sad that this child is gone because of you. And was she trying to keep this baby because she wanted him to stay in her life or something? And I'm not saying, get rid of her child or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean, y'all. What I'm saying is, she thought that holding on to that baby was going to keep him. Honey, if he cheated on the first woman and you knew he had a woman, he was going to cheat on you too. He wasn't no good, and he needed to be exactly what he is, behind bars for life. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's just super sad. 48?
Well, Diva, you know, I'm with the D penalty, especially when it's for stuff like this. I think is he gonna get that? Like, that's what he's sentenced to? Diva?
Um, the sentencing is December. Well, I'm saying yes because the jury voted 11-1. So I
Yeah,
it's up to the judge. The judge will make the final decision.
yeah,
And he look
I'm
older.
with that.
Yeah, and he look older than he is because he look older than being in his 20s.
I know his hair was running away from his
Girl, his hair was
face,
in the car before he was.
Yeah.
but I hope that he does get it, because I feel that people that take people's lives in a violent way
Mm-hmm.
should not live. That's just how I feel. And for the young lady, Diva, I'm kind of like where you and Savannah was at. It's like, I'm not trying to victim shame neither, and I'm not even trying to shame her family, but being 18, already having a child, I would think, and then already knowing that he doesn't want to have it, he already voiced that to you. You know what I'm saying? I just think that her family should have maybe given her some advice to just leave him alone altogether, not to go around. With the climate of how things are, it's just cautious for all young people to believe people when they show you and tell you who they are. Believe them. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And something so important like that, I just wouldn't have taken the chance. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to be in that type of situation, you know, but I just feel that if that were me, I would have probably went with her or something. I just feel like the ball was kind of dropped somewhere in her childhood. But rest in peace to her and her baby. She was a beautiful young lady. And even with making bad decisions and poor choices as a young person, that doesn't mean that you should have your life taken away. But hopefully, you know, this, you know, they could find something positive out of her story and help other young women that are having babies as teenagers, you know.
Yeah. So that's where I'm 50 gold. I appreciate you for sharing, right? So that's where I said I commend this girl because like her first thought was not to get rid of her baby. And it takes bravery. You're 18 and you already had a 1-year-old and you was about to have a newborn. But I just feel like she was looking for some love when she ran into this guy who just happened to be a horrible person. But I think the message is even to go back to Kata Scott, the young lady, she wasn't pregnant but lost her life. I feel like that man, he just seems so scary to me. I just feel like I don't see where there was moments where she couldn't, you know, and again, this is not victim shaming where she didn't see or get a little something in her like this person is crazy. When we see crazy and feel crazy, we got to recognize it for what it is and keep it moving. But yeah, I feel for her, but I really think he lured her there on a different pretense that made her actually come. Callie, your thoughts?
I don't know. I definitely think he should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But I also have heard this sort of backwards, demented manosphere thinking that you think that you have control over whether or not someone else gets rid of a pregnancy, and you do not. You do not have that type of control over another person. You can only control what you do with your body and your bodily fluids. And if you don't want a kid, then don't get nobody pregnant. And as far as him being in a relationship, ain't nobody gonna care about that relationship if he don't care. So, I mean, the amount of chaos and havoc and lives that are lost because men want to play games and have all these different women is like it creates so much chaos in the world, unnecessary chaos in the world. Because I don't even see what you're even getting out of playing all these games and creating all this chaos. But I actually don't think he had this great master plan. I think that he was talking to her. He got so enraged that he could not control her that he snapped and unalived her. I don't think that he literally left his house thinking, I'm going to go and unalive this girl and they're going to think someone else did it and I'm going to go back to my life. This is a terrible plan. I mean, obviously he's not the smartest person ever, but I don't think that this was a plan. I think the plan was that I am going to control her and tell her what to do and make her get rid of this baby. And when
No,
he
he
saw
went.
it wasn't happening.
Wait, Callie, I have to stop you for a minute. He went there to take her life. He wrote in a text to the friend or the cousin or whoever that he was going to end it. He was going to end this book. He knew what he went there to do.
But I don't understand what made him think he was not gonna be arrested. This is crazy. But anyway, he's crazy. Whatever the fullest extent to the law is in that state, he needs to get it. I don't blame this girl at all. I really don't. I don't know how long she knew him, how well she knew him. I blame him and his demented mentality because he's even dumber than I thought. If he actually left thinking, I'm going to unalive this girl and they're actually going to believe that some other person did it and I'm just going to go off on with my life. Yeah.
Well, he did go on with his life. He went on with his life for about 10 months. But so, and I'm agree with you, Wayne. Most criminals don't think they're going to get caught. And I'll go back to you, Increased Matters, like that chick that flew from one state to another and took the new girlfriend's life. And you know, I don't know how this one is still running the street. The situation that happened in the school that we talked about, where the mom was at the school with her kid, the boyfriend with the new girlfriend, the other mother is gone now, and nobody is arrested for taking her life. I don't get it. Why is no one arrested yet for what is her name? This David singer, the one that took her life. Hernandez, what is her name? Her name
Celeste.
Celeste.
Oh, Celeste.
Why is no one arrested yet? This is crazy. And now that has been months. Yeah, Ramika Meeks. Come on now. Yeah, what? This is crazy. So I'm not understanding. I don't understand how the law works sometimes where it seems like there's obvious suspects to us, but it's taking them forever to arrest people. Thank you, Increased Matter. Celeste Rivers Hernandez. Why is no one arrested yet for her murder? It's bananas. Let me run into this last story real quick. This Domino's fight. I don't understand these people. It's a shame when you have no goals for your life that you end up in situations like this, and now your life is going. Your goal is going to be to spend time behind bars.
Also in Gloucester County, police are asking for help identifying 2 people involved in a wild brawl.
And this happened in New Jersey.
Near Rowan University.
Mm-hmm. Karen.
And it's been making the rounds on social media.
That's for sure. They have it in Glassboro?
You got it, yeah, and everyone's been talking about it because you can see it all over your, social media feed. So early in the hours of Saturday morning, the pizza place is packed. It's in the overnight hours. Here's the surveillance video of what's unfolding inside. Well, here's first the outside to show you where it is. You can clearly see it's over by the campus. So, late night after Halloween, and then some people still have masks. Then here's some of the melee that, happens. The kids have their phones there, pushing and shoving. Then the police come to try to get the situation under control. And at the bottom of your screen, you can see those are the guys, and they're throwing the chair at a police officer, and not only they hit one of them in the back of the head. See them picking it up right there, and you can see that blue shirt and the other, the gray one, they go out of frame a little bit, and then they're running away. So that infuriated clearly the officers who were trying to get the situation under control. Here's witnesses.
There was so much chaos up there. There was just a bunch of people throwing punches at each other, even at my coworkers. All I saw was one girl turn around and just deck another girl in the face. Out of nowhere, I look to my left, there is a chair just flying right down this hallway.
And again, it hit one of the officers in the back of the head as they're trying to bring control to the situation. If you know who those 2 suspects are, and I believe we also have some of the isolated of the stills, so you can get a good look at their faces, of who they are. It's also on our website, certainly, of who exactly those suspects are. If you know, please call police.
Very clear surveillance video for sure. All right, Karen. 7:13.
Super sad. This is just totally insane. And this, you know what, is difficult for the workers. I'm just feeling like you should really be getting hazard pay to work in these fast food restaurants. Is getting crazy. Violent brawl erupts in Domino's as suspects Haro's chair strikes officer head. Whichever one did that, and when they catch him, they done. A chaotic late night brawl broke out inside a Domino's Pizza in Glassboro, New Jersey, over the weekend, ending with two men allegedly assaulting a police officer, according to authorities. Glassboro police said officers were called to the restaurant shortly before 3 a.m. Saturday for reports of a large fight. I'm going to be very honest with you. These restaurants shouldn't even stay open that late anymore. It's not worth it. As officers attempted to make arrests, two suspects allegedly picked up a chair and hurled it at one of the officers, striking him in the back of the head. Police said the men appeared extremely hysterical as they ran from the scene. Surveillance footage from inside the Domino's shows pandemonium. Customers wearing Halloween accessories, people standing on tables and chairs, and others recording on their phones as tensions escalated. At one point, two men were seen grabbing a red chair and hurling it out of frame as bystanders filmed the chaos before scattering. Those are the people that they're looking for. See, there you are, right on camera. At approximately 2:44 a.m. this morning, officers responded to Domino's for Domino's Pizza for a large fight that erupted inside the store. Glassboro Police Department said, while officers were making multiple arrests, two males seen in this attached video, black male wearing gray jacket and a black male wearing light blue sweatshirt, picked up a chair and threw it at our officers. That person is in serious trouble, okay? Striking one of them in the back of the head. Not only was this intentional, they found it extremely hysterical while they ran from the scene. We need your help identifying them. Authorities have released still images of the suspects and are urging anyone with information about their identities to contact the Glassboro police by texting Glass PD to their anonymous tip line at 847-411 and calling 856-881-1500 or emailing detective Akin at sakin@glassboro.pd.org. This is just extremely disturbing and sad. These kids look young. And like wasting your life is it's unbelievable. Wayne, your thoughts?
I think it's just going to be a matter of time. Either the parents going to turn them in, some kids going to turn them in, because those are clear photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how they get away. I mean, these kids nowadays, it's a different breed of kids now.
Yes.
I was, well, of course, I'm much older. Think of stuff like this. Midnight. I mean, it's almost like it's a brawl. And you know what? This is what they're looking for. This administration is looking for. They looking for stuff to pop off and want riots in the street so they can have a reason to call the police in. Not the police, the military. So this is ridiculous because, this spills out into the street. Then more kids add to it. And next thing you know, there's a riot, a lot of, lawlessness. And then when the police take them down and stuff like that, they're going to say, oh, this wasn't justice, this, that, and the other. It's unfortunately, but they have to deal with these kids like this. And like, who their parents? Who their parents? Who let their kids, I'm not saying kids can't stay out late. But if you train right and stuff pop off, you gone. You're not even going to be involved in stuff like this. Like, where their parents at? But their parents are responsible. If the parents see their children in there, they're responsible for turning them in. That's it.
Appreciate you, Julius.
The hot messes. And Diva, I agree with you. It's not safe to be open that late no more.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
It's nothing. It's nothing but foolery.
Mm-hmm.
And folks don't know how to. And these, I say it all the time when I'm walking through my. I said these kids are scary. They,
Mm-hmm.
they scary. Like they have no fear. They don't care. They on camera. Nothing. Listen, before I used to leave, my mom. I'm 32. My mama said, if you even act out of line, telling you gonna have it when you get home. That's what my mom and my daddy used to tell me. If you use that line with these kids today, it's like you speaking a foreign language or you speaking pig Latin or pygmy. They don't curve. They is scurry.
Mm. Thank you, Julia. Scary. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Um, the way our society is getting, nobody should be out after get dark.
Yes, that's facts. Talk about it.
I just feel like these kids these days weren't raised like we was raised.
Mm-mm.
In the 80s and the 90s, you couldn't do nothing like this and not get your butt whooped from the top of the street to the bottom of the street.
Mm.
Every neighbor would have had a belt. I think this is sad because it also happened right here by a college campus. So, and we all know, we don't know, kids go to college and they feel like they grown then. They do these drinking and stuff, and then they get all excited, and then they go out and wreak havoc on the communities. I really think we need to hone in on these schools that are allowing these kids to be out past a curfew. Every place should have a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should be out at 2 and 3 unless you coming from your job. It is no reason for you to be out at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom and them used to tell me the only thing that's open that late is legs.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously think we've changed as a society. Everybody keep thinking the old school is old, out with the old and in with the new. I ain't seen nothing good that came from this new school teaching. These kids are rebellious. They
Bring
act
back the old school.
crazy. I feel like we should allow parents to be parents. Nowadays, if you whoop your kid, they tell you it's see abuse, and I don't think that is the case. I think that's good discipline, and some of these kids should have had some good discipline.
Callie, your thoughts?
Do we know for sure that these are kids?
They are kids.
Okay, because when I first saw this story, it was by college, so I didn't know if these were like grown people or these were kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
But yeah, this is the thing. I know that people want to feel like their kids are like old enough to kind of go out by themselves when they're in high school. But I really think, especially a group like this, they needed a chaperone. There's too many kids unattended without an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it has been a large group of kids like this, even when I was in school, by themselves without an adult, something bad would always happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for one thing. They needed a chaperone with them. Another thing is that they're old enough to understand that the police can hurt them. So the fact that someone would do that is very concerning to me. That there is some type of detachment to reality that's going on. And I've always said, I think it's some of these things that we see on social media in these reality shows where these people are out here getting into these physical altercations and there doesn't seem to be a consequence because that is not actual reality. A lot of people are pow because of something that started as a physical altercation. Um, a lot of people go to jail, and even if they don't serve time, they have to pay for an attorney. They're going backwards and forwards to court for literally years because of a physical altercation. So I think that there is a problem that's happening where we do have young people that think they could just go out and get into a fight and everybody just gonna go home like nothing happened. And that's not real life.
Thank you, Callie. In my opinion, I came to you already, right?
Yeah, you at Savannah.
Savannah.
Having that many young people in the business at night is problematic to begin with
Mhm.
because they outnumber the employees
Ugh.
in the facility. So I don't see where that is beneficial to that company. If anything, it puts their employees at harm because of the potential for situations to get out of control, such as this one did. And I agree. I don't know. I don't think that these places should be open open their doors open. They can do Uber Eats or deliveries, but I don't think that the doors should be open
Right.
because I just think this young society is out of control. Pow Pows are very accessible now.
Mhm.
There were so many Pow Pow incidents here in Richmond this Halloween weekend, where there was a video online that it was one of the scariest scenes I have ever witnessed, and I was um, college students having Halloween parties out in house parties, which we all grew up on house parties, but it's not the same as what I remember. Um, I think one or two people ended up passing and several got
Mm.
injured, but I just think these businesses do a disservice to their employees by being open late and
Mhm.
having allowing that many people in is problematic and scary. So I do think we need to go to or they should look at going to a position of closing doors early and just doing online orders.
I agree with you. So there's this Dunkin' Donuts. So my mom's town and my town are very close together. And there's a Dunkin' Donuts in her town that now you can't day or night, you can't even go inside. They only got drive-through. And I said to myself, like I asked the person, he said it was so dangerous. It was so dangerous. And how sad is that? That they literally had to shut down where you cannot step foot in the store. It's only drive-through. And unfortunately, we have seen stuff happen in drive-throughs, but at least like you're saying, Savannah, it will never be 55 people can't be up at the window at the drive-through. You know what I mean? And it's just so sad that you can't even have a physical store anymore because of the violence and all the stuff, the craziness that goes on. And you know, the one guy that was telling me, he was like, the stuff people get mad about, he said, you wouldn't believe. One person was mad because they have ran out of, at the moment, they ran out of whatever kind of milk, and that person wanted that milk in their coffee. He said the people get mad when they run out of donuts, but at that particular location, I don't know if it's all Dunkin' Donuts. Their donuts come in the morning, and whatever they had, they have. It's not like they literally, there was that Dunkin' Donuts commercial, time to make the donuts. He said it's not like we physically making the donuts at this location. They get a drop off. I guess they drop off however many donuts they feel is going to be sold for the day, the different kinds. And he said when we run out, we run out. And he said people get mad. I was like, wow. So literally now they close it and only have the drive-through, and that's all the time when they're open. 48, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. When I first saw it, I was kind of like Callie. I was like, oh my God, I'm surprised nobody got pow. You
Mm.
know, just the fact that they threw it at him and just how police are reacting. Now, I'm not saying that would have been justified because there's other kids there that were trying to just leave.
Mhm.
But I can only imagine being a cop that walked in, your back is turned in a chair, it's thrown at your head. You know what I'm saying? So um I think I think that's really like Callie said, kind of brave for these kids. But I also think that I don't know, I remember my adopted sister used to tell me that they used to have this thing that come on TV and it would say like where are your kids at or whatever. Maybe they should start having just like curfews in different states across the board. and start penalizing these parents. And when the parents can't control them, it's a habitual thing, then turn them over to the juvenile justice system. Because to me, yeah, businesses need to be able to like change with the times, if you will. But I don't think that it should be at the detriment of families being able to go and pick up a box of pizza because it's all these people in there and then they bust into craziness just anywhere. I think that parents need to be responsible for their kids. And if you are having a hard time with your kid, then maybe the state can help your kid.
But we seen people that asked the state, and the state is not helping, right? We seen this CPS. I mean, I do agree with you. There needs to be some type of answer. But you know, even now, my son turned 20 this year. And like, I mean, he's gonna do what he do when he at school because you can't watch him every single second. But when he home, I'm like, no, why are you leaving the house to go somewhere at midnight? That just don't make no sense to me.
Are they college kids, Diva, or were these teenagers?
They look like teenagers to me, and it was Halloween, and it was Halloween, so they probably was out trick or treating because some of them they said still had their masks on. So even though it was Halloween going into November 1st, right? Because it was like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. or something like that in the morning. So they probably just never went home. I mean, it's a matter of too, like, why are you letting your kids stay out this late? It's a mixture of a whole bunch of things.
And I think that is reckless. Like if I was the parents of some of those kids in there, it's just I just felt like Callie did. Like the first thing, like I was like, man, I'm just glad nobody got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like in my opinion said too, man, these kids is wild. They wild out here.
They are wild, and it's very sad. But here's the even sadder thing. Those kids thought it was a kiki and a ha-ha, but the minute you picked up that chair and threw it and it hit the back of that officer's head, you got a whole lot of charges waiting on you. And they're going to catch you. Nowadays, with all the cameras and stuff, that's the other stupid stuff. With all the cameras and stuff, it's not a matter of if they're going to catch you. It's just a matter of when. It's a matter of when. You will get caught. It's just when will you get caught? And now that your face has been plastered everywhere, it'll be sooner than later. You'd be better off asking mommy and daddy to get you a lawyer and going to turn yourself in. Just like, but these kids, they are gangster now because I still can't get over that Julio trial. And this young lady, she just had a baby. And now you got sentenced to second. I think they found her guilty of second-degree murder. And she was sitting there pretty much like, whatever.
Diva, they're all gang members.
Oh, so she was too?
Yeah, they're all. She has to be. Just me, like looking at her tattoos and the way that she was just so willing to do this. I watched someone's video who did a really, really deep dive because I don't really understand the gangs in Florida.
Right.
This is a gang war that's been going on for years and years. So I'm sure that someone that she knows was unalived and she wanted to get revenge.
No, that did come out. That did come out.
Yeah.
When she knew. But her players was 10 toes down that she was not a part of it. Just her boyfriend was.
I hate to judge people by the way they look, but she gave me gang member.
All right, I can roll with that. I can roll with that. But she was too, you know, no pun intended. She was too gangster. I mean, I would have fell out.
Well, because she should have had that conspiracy charge. And so she knew, she just didn't want to smile. She knew like she had won because that was a win for her. Because what she did was conspiracy to commit M-word. It was.
So conspiracy would have been more charges than
yes. She probably would have never got out.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Because I wasn't getting it. I was being real slow. I was like, this girl is just, she just sitting there like, whatever. Okay, second degree. Okay, I'm good. Like, and at 20 something, I think she's only 23. And she got it, and she just had a baby. I'm guessing her parents are taking care of the baby. And you want to know what's wild too? From the homes that they was picked up at, it's like these kids came from the suburbs. I'm like, what the heck? So that just goes to show you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the home that they picked them up at. I believe that was some house that the boyfriend was renting. I have to research that more, but it looked that way in the video that I saw. And he probably was, doing his thing in the streets and probably had the money.
I got you.
So, yeah. So I don't really know. She could be from the suburbs. A lot of people are, it's like being in a cult. They get indoctrinated in, a gang is essentially just another type of a cult.
Yeah.
They get indoctrinated into that, and it's very hard to get them out.
Well, she stood 100 for the cause all the way to the bitter end. And she better than me. I would have been falling out, passing out, crying, and yeah, she ain't drop a tear. Not one. I'm shocked. But now that I know that conspiracy would have been the harsher charge, then I guess
unless Florida got some weird laws I don't know about. Conspiracy is usually a lot more years than second degree or man. No, I think she got manslaughter, right?
I gotta go back to it.
Yeah, manslaughter. Yeah, I think that conspiracy, I've seen people get like 60 years for conspiracy. So,
you're right. Because like yourself, it was all new to me. I just fell into watching it. But listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Join me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, around that time for Trending Topics. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Oh, did it? I'm like, did it end?